This month on Images, hear the story of an engineering student's path to success. Honor this year's outstanding graduates and overall outstanding faculty member. And Chef Chris Thielman shares a family recipe. All of that and more on this edition of Images. Hi, I'm Rio Almaria, admissions representative at College of DuPage. Welcome to Images, the show that keeps you up to date with everything happening here at COD. What will your story be? A simple question with so many possibilities. For engineering major Azim Unjam, College of DuPage advanced his career path with internship opportunities, taking him from COD to fossil power technologies engineer. This is his story.
My name is Azim Unjam. I come from a close family. It's a family of 4 kids. 2 older brothers, an older sister, and then I came along at some point. But we're great. My father was an engineer, just like me, and he worked at several power plants, helping to maintain and construct them. I work at Sargent & Lundy. They are a power plant design firm. At Sargent & Lundy, I am a mechanical engineer, so I design the mechanical piping systems. This includes the pumping systems, the turbine systems, the heat recovery systems.
I have just like some smaller blueprints as well, just like these. So I'm just gonna put
Sargent & Lundy, this is Azim. Yeah, the isolation valve change from a flange to a welded.
So typically I would work on developing the 2D diagrams of the power plant, what connects to what, and then the mechanical designers would draw that in 3D, and I would help review and develop that. And then we would eventually want to take all of this and make it into a construction package. I actually didn't always want to be an engineer. In high school, just like everybody else, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I took some physics classes, and I really enjoyed them. And then engineering is the application of physics. So I thought that would be a good route to go down, and COD was a good way to test that. Being a 2-year school, I was able to basically see if that was a good path for me without, taking a major risk. My experience at COD was great, and initially I was going to pursue a different university, but I decided to give them a chance, and they blew my expectations away. They had a full-blown engineering program. It was rather maturely developed at the time, and it's gotten better. So I was able to take all the classes I needed to complete my freshman and sophomore year level of engineering. After COD, I went to the University of Illinois at Chicago, where I completed my final 2 years of my bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. College of DuPage gave me a strong base to start UIC with. I often felt that I knew the content better than my peers who were at UIC already. The reason being is that the engineering department at College of DuPage had teachers that gave students individual attention and actually made sure that the students learned the content rather than the large lecture halls where sometimes those things are lost in the details.
Right, and this is the XOR gate. So if the toggle's in one selection...
What gets me excited about my work is when I think about the scale of it. So oftentimes I may be writing an equipment specification, so just like a Word document, or I might be drawing like a 2D CAD drawings, and those are lines and triangles and shapes. But then when you think about what you're actually doing, you're taking baby steps to construct something so big, something so vast. That'll be producing energy for so many people. You start to think of it as a privilege. Because not many people get to do something at that scale. If I did not go to College of DuPage, I feel that I would still be on the same career track, but I would be a little behind. At College of DuPage, they gave me opportunities to pursue internships. That gave me a step forward. Each internship was a step forward in my career. And it's because of these opportunities that I'm at the position I am today. And now I'm looking towards the future. I will be married this year. I also hope to move further in my career and work on some of the new generation power plants and the new fossil project as well.
Each year, College of DuPage recognizes 2 graduates whose achievements truly demonstrate determination and success. First, hear the emotional and inspirational story of Molly Langlatz of Woodridge. An unstable home life brought this determined student to COD's high school equivalency to pass the GED. She stayed, working hard to earn her Associate's in Arts degree. Images spoke with Molly about her past, her goals, studying psychology, and her hope to one day be able to use her education to support others facing challenging situations.
So when I first came to COD, I wanted to get my GED. I had dropped out of high school my senior year because a terrible home life situation with my mom and dad both being drug addicts, and so I had just dropped out. I couldn't really handle it emotionally, and it was really hard. So when I came to COD, I felt really scared at first, just because I had been out of school for 5 years. The GED program, they were so kind to me and just so encouraging, and they really believed in me. Julie Casey, she was my GED professor, and she was amazing, like from day one. I think I was mainly scared that we would be like kind of treated maybe like less because we didn't graduate, but she was so nice, and just like every day she was like, it doesn't matter like what happened, like you guys are here and that's what's important. The first semester went really well. I was really scared because I even though I succeeded really well in the GED, I was still terrified because it was college courses, and but I really loved it. I took psychology and fell in love with it, and I had gotten straight A's, and I was so proud of myself because to be out of school and then to come back and succeed, I was just so happy. Psychology for me means a lot to me because in my family there's so much mental illness, and so for me psychology is a way to heal people, and I thought if I could help someone like not have a childhood that I had, that would be amazing. College of DuPage has done so much for me. Like academically, it's top notch. Like they offer so many classes, and it just makes you think outside of the classroom, like in real life. And I've like made lifelong friends that I know I'm gonna stay in contact with. My 2 older sisters, actually, Colleen and Erin, they've been everything. Like they've supported me through this whole thing. And when I had first got my GED, I didn't really have a normal high school experience at all. So when I came out and my sister was like, look, you're gonna get your license, and you're gonna take my car, and you're gonna get your GED. And I was like, thank you. So they were just there from day one. So at first I thought I didn't get it, but they called me at nighttime. So I was like, oh, I guess I didn't get it. And then I was in my night class, and I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, I got it. And then I just group texted my sisters, and they're like, we knew you could do it. I was like, yay, I'm so happy. So I got accepted to every school I applied to, which I was very proud of. But for me, I visited the UIC campus, and so I really liked it. And so I'm going to be going to UIC. I want to get my bachelor degree in psychology, and then I do plan to keep going. I want my master's and PhD, so I want to keep going. You know, I thought my life was over after I dropped out. I didn't think that I was going to go anywhere. So the fact that I even had the courage to get my GED and then to keep going and to work so hard, like it makes me emotional thinking about it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, class of 18. We did it.
Molly McGartland Langlatz.
Next, Images gets acquainted with Anna Gorman. The Westmont resident also received the honor of Outstanding Graduate and plans to transfer to Elmhurst College, where she will double major in political science and philosophy. Her goal is to pursue a law degree. an interest that grew through her involvement with COD's Model United Nations.
I chose College of DuPage because it gave me opportunities that other colleges couldn't offer to me. When I first applied to school, I knew that I wanted to be in a lot of clubs as well as work outside of school, and I didn't want to sacrifice my education for that. So I think that COD gave me these opportunities, and I really loved that I chose to come here because it really has helped me mature and grow not only in intellect but in maturity as well. When I first came to College of DuPage, I didn't really know what I wanted to study, and it was actually one of the advantages of coming here is I could take these classes without that many financial repercussions. So I had the chance to take these classes that I wasn't exactly sure about. There's this one class, Karl Marx in the Modern World, which to most people that class sounds horrible, but to me it really helped me grow and decide what I wanted to study. And I think the honors program as well has really helped me with that. My interest in political science actually stemmed from my participation in a political campaign near me. I got involved with the state senatorial campaign near me, and it really taught me the importance of local elections and how much the representative can really affect you. And then I started taking more political science classes here at COD until I found Model UN, where I really found and honed in my ability to speak publicly and really learn how to speak about a topic that I'm very educated about. And my passion for Model UN just grew immensely, and it has been the best experience I've had at COD by far. A lot of my friends did go away to four-year institutions, and they would always send me these photos and these pictures of them out at parties. And when I first came to COD, I got a little envious and I wanted to be them. But once I found Model UN, I discovered that I was more passionate about talking about nuclear proliferation than I was going out to parties. It was something that meant more to me than a meaningless night. And to each their own, of course, but I really found myself here. So when I found out I was an outstanding graduate, I was in the car with my mom on the way to the honor ceremony. And I got the call from Brian, and I answered, and in the car I was like holding out to my mom, and I was like bouncing up and down. I was like, Mom, I won. And then I hung up with Mr. Collins, and we screamed for a solid 5 minutes because we were so happy, and I was just so proud in myself that every night that I stayed up wanting to get that A and studying harder and doing these extra activities really meant something, and it didn't mean something just to me, it meant something to other people. After COD, I plan to attend Elmhurst College and eventually get my Juris Doctorate. I have wanted to be a lawyer, and I know this sounds very cliche since I was very young, but I think my time with Model UN, and I used to be in youth and government, and all of the classes that I've taken have really prepared me for my path, and I've never been so confident or passionate about what I want to pursue. And if I were to recommend this place for someone, I would tell them that you can take these classes and really find your own passions and really find what motivates you personally before going to some four-year institution and wasting your money. This is really a place for people that want to expand their knowledge and find who they are.
Finally, I learned the value of determination through the courses here that challenge and inspire its students to find and fulfill their potential.
Anna Gorman.
Each year, College of DuPage honors one educator who stands above the rest of its college-wide outstanding full-time faculty member. For the 2017-2018 academic year, this distinction is awarded to Professor of Physics Tom Carter. Images spoke with Tom, discussing his commitment to his students and how his experiences in the scientific and research communities led him to the rewards of teaching at a community college.
Before I started teaching here at the College of DuPage, I had several, I would call them sort of mini careers. Right after I left college, I was in the military. I was a naval engineer, a CB, and I worked in, my specialty there was in underwater construction. We went all over the world repairing cables for the Navy. After that, I was in grad school at Duke. Spent about 6 years in grad school at Duke. After grad school, I was a postdoctoral fellow at Fermilab for about 4 years, and then I was on computing division staff there, permanent staff. And after a while in research, I went and spent some time in private industry and in the telecommunications industry. And I would say I enjoyed every single one of those careers, but I always knew in the back of my mind I wanted to teach. I enjoyed all my careers, if for no other reason than when I sort of felt like, oh, you know, I'm a little tired of this one, I just moved on. I've never felt that way about teaching. You could say every semester is a new start. Every semester I have new ideas, new things I want to try about that will hopefully help students learn. I didn't start out thinking I wanted to teach at a community college. I thought more that I would teach at a small liberal arts college, which is where I went. But once I got here, I realized that this is exactly the place to be. I think when I go to professional conferences now and I see my colleagues that are teaching at other schools, very proud that I teach at a community college. I say if you're gonna change the world, if you're gonna make an effect on a large number of people, a community college is the place to be. The thing that attracted me the most to teaching was the idea that I could make a big difference in people's lives and in the world, you know, by being a good teacher. I will say when I first started out, I thought the idea of being a good teacher was going to be relatively simple. I sort of felt like, boy, if you're enthusiastic and you make it clear that you want to support your students, that's about all you need. It turns out to be a lot more complex than that. Students don't come to your classroom, I think the word is, as an empty vessel. They come with their own thoughts, their own opinions, their own backgrounds, their own motivations, their own way of thinking about things. And you have to take them as they come. You have to understand that this is how students are when they come to your classroom. And I'll be honest, I can't think of, if you love teaching, if what you really want to do is teach, I can't think of a better situation than that.
Some say the best recipes are those handed down through the generations. COD's chef Chef Thielman looks to his own heritage and shares a traditional family recipe for a potato and egg casserole, a dish his Lithuanian relatives prepare called kugelis.
Hello, welcome to another episode of In the Kitchen with Chris. Today we're going to be making my family recipe for kugelis. Kugelis is a Lithuanian potato egg casserole. Now, it's a fairly simple recipe, but there's one part that I've learned over the years. That's why I've got this food processor here. There's one part I've learned over the years that is the critical part to making the casserole look very, very good when it comes out of the oven, okay? Which I'll explain when we get a little closer. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take bacon and you're going to cook it in the pan. So I'm going to put it in the pan right here, and I'm going to start sauteing the bacon. As it's sauteing, I'm going to dice my onion. And we want a small dice on the onion. Okay, so now we have a small dice on the onion. So what we're going to do next is we need to cook the bacon until it's very, very crisp. All right, so we're going to cook the bacon until it's very crisp, and then we're going to add the onions, and we're going to cook them until they're translucent, and then we're going to add some butter into the pan, and then we're going to put that on the side. I'm also showing you how to do this recipe in the order that you need to do it in for success. So the bacon should take about 5 minutes or so to cook. Okay, our bacon is very, very crisp in the pan, and now we're going to add our small diced onions right into the pan. And the very high, hot heat will cook these onions in just a couple of minutes. So we're going to stir them around. And remember, you need to cook these onions until they're translucent. And if you notice, I left the bacon grease in the pan on purpose. Remember, this is an old family recipe of mine from my Lithuanian relatives. And this is exactly how they made it for a long time. Okay, our onions are translucent. And now I'm going to add the half a stick of butter. So it's about 2 ounces or so. And basically all you want to do is melt the butter. That's all you're interested in, is melting the butter. Okay. So onions are translucent, bacon is crispy. So now I'm going to turn the heat off and just let it sit on the side all by itself. Okay. So remember, you need to do that first, and now here's the next part. Now the next part of this recipe is relatively simple also. You need to take a bowl, and you are going to take your eggs, and we're going to add our evaporated milk right here, evaporated milk. And we're going to take our salt and pepper, and it seems like a little bit extra salt, but make sure you add the amount that's called for in the recipe. It's a tablespoon, because if you don't, the potatoes will be very flat tasting, and you're going to have to add some salt anyways. So now you're going to mix this up so the eggs are dissolved. Okay, now here's the part that I've discovered over the years. I have got the potatoes, and I've got the onion, and I have a power grater. Now, here's the thing that I changed slightly from my relative's rendition. They would grate all of this by hand, and what I found was because these are russet potatoes, these would oxidize and turn brown before they could get this in the oven. And so, because I'm using a power grater, I can get this grated in literally seconds, get it all stirred together, get it in the pan, and get it in the oven in probably less than a minute. So I'm going to do this full speed because you have to do it very fast or else the potatoes will turn brown. Okay? All right. So here we go. So this is ready to go. Onions and bacon ready with the butter. We got our potatoes, we have our onion. So what we're going to do is we're going to grate the onions and the potatoes together. This is about a 1/8 inch size power grater attachment on my food processor. All right. And I'm going to have to do this, whoop, sorry about that. I'm going to have to do this in 2 batches, everybody, 2 batches. Okay, so I'm going to take off the top, and again, remove this, pop this in, okay, and then do the second half of the batch. Put in my little attachment. Okay, rest of the potatoes. And you notice that I have the peeled potatoes sitting in water again so they don't oxidize. Okay, that is ready to go. So we take this, remove it, and again, take all of this, put it right in here, take our spatula, scrape it out just like always. Okay, And now we're going to take this mixture here, put it all together, and then we fold it all together very fast, okay? So we want to mix it all together very thoroughly. Should take just a few seconds. Okay, all right. So this is now ready to go into the pan. It's all mixed together, and as you can see, the potatoes have not turned brown at all. Some recipes will call for ascorbic acid to be added, and that's because the potatoes will turn brown. But if you do it in this method with a power grater, there is no chance for them to turn brown, so you don't have to use the ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C. All right, take it, and now we're going to flatten it in the pan so it looks nice and pretty. Got to have it look good. All right, and spread it so it's nice and flat. And now we're going to bake this in the oven for about an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, here's the next thing I've discovered making this recipe over the years. You need to make sure that you bake this long enough so it's a nice deep golden brown. If it's a deep golden brown, you're going to have some nice crispy exterior and a nice soft interior, which is really excellent. So bake this in the oven hour to an hour and a half, deep golden brown, and then it's ready to be enjoyed. Okay, pop it in the oven. Okay, our kugelis has been baking in the oven for about an hour, hour and a half, and as you can see, it's a beautiful golden brown. And so we're going to take our knife and we're going to cut a little piece out. Oh, lovely. Look at that. Alrighty. So, this is how you make my family recipe of kugelis. A potato cake, potato, onion, and bacon, if you will. And as you can see, it's got a beautiful golden brown all the way around, and the inside, the potatoes have not oxidized, which was the major problem I found when you hand grate the potatoes. So, thanks very much for coming, everyone. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
That wraps up this edition of Images. We hope you enjoyed this program from College of DuPage. And remember, with so much happening at COD, Images is a great way to stay on top of it all. And be sure to watch past episodes on demand at our website, cod.edu. Until next time, I'm Rio Almaria.